I'm Paula Huhn with Funding American Mortgage. Today, I have the privilege of being able to interview a wonderful businesswoman. Her name is Felicia Wallace Benton. She is the owner of Designing Your Vision LLC. She has been an interior designer and owned her own business for over 10 years. She specializes in commercial and residential interiors. And fun fact, she is indeed an artist. She creates art for her personal passion by making jewelry that, is a passion for her. And I love the fact that you mentioned earlier in our conversation that, you don't sell it, which really comes from the heart.
Thank you for having me, Paula. It's great to be here.
We're going to get it because interior design is really important. People buying or selling their home, the interior design can be two very different things, right? Let's start. If a first-time home buyer buys a house, they're going to design it, get new furniture, blinds, things like that. What do you see about one of the biggest mistakes in designing their spaces?
One of the biggest things people do is they don't really take into consideration the size of the space when selecting furniture, or they don't really think out how they're going to operate in the space. Amazingly so. All they're thinking about is how aesthetically it's going to look versus how they're going to function. Whether they're like remodeling a kitchen or like just redoing their living room and adding furniture, I always tell them that you have to really kind of live in the space for a while to see how you're going to function, especially if it's a brand new home. Design it. Worst case scenario, you don't want to buy that great sectional and be like, okay, you didn't need this. Or design a kitchen where things aren't where you need it and it's not functioning the way you want it.
I've revamped my kitchen several times with where things are, what cabinets they are in. But if you away when you unpack and move, and then you start living in it, and you're like, if I have to walk to that cabinet one more time, I'm going to cry. So let me rearrange things. Live in your space for a little bit so you know what you want done. From a mortgage standpoint, we get clients who get credit cards on the deals and buy furniture before they close, and I have to yell at them. It's not worth it.
The only time I recommend that is if you're working with a designer. We already know it's going to work in this space, but if you're a new homeowner or if you're just rebuying to downsize, I always say to live in it because you don't want to make a costly mistake, and that is a costly mistake.
Yeah, furniture is not cheap. If someone were to call you up and say, Felicia, I'm buying a new house. We close next week. I would love to start getting some of my furniture ideas down on paper. What do you do to, one, make sure that everything that they pick out will fit? And two, like, how do you walk them through? You'd have to see the space. We understand that. But, once you get in there, walk us through your process.
In some cases, I can't see the space because it might be a new build. So I can't really go in there and see exactly what it's going to look like. I can look at the bones of the structure before everything's in place. We look at the floor plan and how the rooms flow. For example, if they have a family room close to a kitchen, how they want to utilize the family room is kids oriented. Then I put together a floor plan, maybe 2 or 3 ideas. From there, we narrow it down, then furniture selection. So when they're ready to move in, they can purchase that furniture because they already know how it's going to work in the space. And we've already worked through how it's going to function. And the main thing is making sure they have the storage they need if they have kids or entertain. The furniture meets their needs, and also they have that walkway up. So it's not really confined and tight. I did a presentation for you before, all up against the walls.
That saved me. My sunroom or my sitting room looks so great now that I moved everything kind of in the middle. It literally did work. It made it look much bigger. Thank you.
So, I mean, I take all that in consideration when I do the floor plan so they can hit the ground running. Most people, when they do it themselves, they're really psyched about the new home and they're just thinking about the way they want it to look, which is fine, but they're not thinking about this massive piece of furniture they're buying and how it fits in the space. Or they might buy something they like, but it's not functioning in the space. I come across that a lot.
How can a homeowner, let's say it's their middle house, not their forever home, but they want it to look better. They want it to look high end, bougie, if you will. How can you do bougie on a budget?
Accessorizing. There's a lot of ways you can work with what you have. So you may have a nice quality sofa that is, it's good. It's not falling apart. The cushions are in good shape. So we can work with that and add color to the space. Another quick way is by adding paint. Paint is like painting a space. This is very like an easy fix up. The best thing is to pick the correct color of the paint. So that's where somebody like me would come in to help decide what paint color to pick. We can freshen up the house through paint colors and accessories. So it's a easy thing to do, believe it or not.
You're shopping for the accessories.
It's fun. But you don't overdo it because it looks cluttered. Keep it down. And because you don't know what you're gonna want and to keep and then toss. So I don't want them to do but so much until they're ready to go and we see the next step. But we try to work with them in the phase they're in.
Now, are there any timeless designs that work throughout time? Like colors change every year.
Ironically, I did that for this month. Like trends in 2025 that stand a test of time. So one thing that off the top of my head is natural stone. Nowadays, you can do porcelain that looks like natural stone. This gives you that gorgeous, seamless look. If you're thinking about reselling and updating your bathrooms and kitchens, bring that into your home because that is priceless. And that's also, I want to say, an upscale look. So it's creating that upscale look, whether in porcelain or natural stone, giving you that beautiful look. So that's something that would stand a test of time. And there's some colors out there, like a lot of the moody colors, like the navies, the dark blacks. I would say the dark
Beauty.
yeah, the moody colors, yeah. Even browns. Some people, when I say browns, they think of 70s, but for some unknown reason, that has been trending for a while. Maybe not one of the top, but a lot of people gravitate towards golds for some unknown reason. I still have clients that do the golds. I try to keep them from the golds and the reds because that's dated, but just to bring
Right.
in those gold colors because to them they're just warm and welcoming, and that's why people gravitate to them, and that's why they stand a test of time. So they're quick with paint colors. You can update your home and natural stone. I know with porcelain, that's going to be a little bit more pricey because you may have to redo the whole bathroom, but that will increase your sales value and give you that beautiful luxury look.
Now, moving from the first time home buyer who would need to hire you to help them figure out what to do in a house. That's me. I've tried to DIY too much. I'm done. Hire a professional is the world I'm in right now. Not that I've made mistakes, but I know what I like. Sometimes it's hard for me to find it, so I'd rather hire someone to find it. My husband, like everything he's now. When you're consulting with a client, how do you balance between my favorite color is purple versus what reality would be like? But it would make the house look better if you did a brown or a blue.
First, I do a survey, have them answer questions to get their mindset, what they like, don't like, what colors they puke at, what colors they gravitate towards. Styles. A lot of people say, I don't know what my style is. I'm trying to get what you want in the space. From that, I can come up with ideas. For example, they like purple and brown. Lilac and brown is beautiful.
That's
So
true.
another thing I do a lot is I look at nature. If you look at nature, there's some weird combinations out there.
They
And
said we
it's
get
like,
edited. They like that.
yeah, especially in the spring because you get to see a lot of different colors and how they come together. That's where I draw most of my inspiration from. If someone likes a weird combination, I'm sure they can pull it together. I had someone that liked lilac with yellow. And ironically, I mean, that's your typical spring, Easter colors, right?
Right. Very Eastery.
So without making it look too babyish, we were able to do it in sophistication, like bringing in some of the soft blue, bluish silver, not really silver, and some of the other colors to make it a little bit more warm. And we were able to create a beautiful palette. And once we do that, we can say, okay, we know you love purple. Maybe you don't do purple in your whole living room, but you could do purple in your powder room. You could do
Nice.
purple in your foyer too. Like, I mean, because it's like, it's when people walk right in your foyer, that's like, hey, this is an expression of me that you're going to see in my, and you can do that and very nice touches. So that's where I come in, helping you think outside the box and how to do it. And you do have a lot of do-it-yourselfers that love to do it themselves and do a great job. I'm not knocking that, but it's the ones that try to do it and I think they're going to save money and then they end up not saving money because in the long run they want to redo it.
Right, exactly, and that can cost just as much.
Yeah, or even twice as much, really. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
redoing everything over.
With most, I spend an hour or two, give them a punch list, and they're off to the races. They're so happy with that because they're like, you saved me a lots of money by having me sit down and think about what I want, what I need to do, instead of having to backtrack and redo it.
Right.
And then I have some that really need hand holding.
What trends should we jump in on and hop on that bandwagon, and which trend we need to, like, walk away from, it's done?
A lot of trends, creating cozy spaces. Everybody's about rest and relaxation. Life is hectic. They want cozy niches, like a reading niche or a niche where they can just unwind in. That's something that's trending again in 2025. So jump on that. Everybody needs a place to relax. Beautiful spa-like bathrooms. That's something that's trending. Again, with the large marble panels, like seamless marble. No one wants to deal with grout lines anymore. I'm all for that. Timeless and priceless, especially when you do it like in natural stone or a natural stone look. Dark navy blues, golds, browns, all the moody colors. And also some of the colors that you would see in the 70s, like the browns and the golds again. They're in oranges are coming out, and I would say jump on that. You don't have to go bold, like painting the whole room or doing the whole room in one color. You can just add pops of color here and there. And then a lot of people, what's really trending is like their outdoor space. And that has been, I want to say, since the pandemic, a lot of people wanted to gather. So that has been trending. I tell people if you have an outdoor space, spruce it up and make it your own. There are a lot of creative ways you can do that too.
That's awesome. Certainly some good advice. I see the same thing. People buy, looking for those specific things like the nice outside or a nice bathroom that can help them if they're not. Now, what if so part of your services or something is something you would do, like make suggestions in a home where someone can edit their home? Like if you tear down this wall, you could create this nice nook or expand your bathroom this way. Is that something you provide as a designer?
I do. In addition to helping them decorate, I mean, that is what I do. I definitely help them. Like I do have a program which I can do a floor plan. They say, well, we want to get rid of this wall and see what it's going to look like. I can do elevations and perspectives so they can see without the wall and then how it's going to work with, say, like other rooms. In Philadelphia, you have those row homes where the kitchen, the dining room is all, so it's like they're sectioned off, so you can't really, a lot of them wants to get rid of like those walls. They want to see from the living room to the kitchen. And in some cases, depending upon how the house is built, you can knock down the walls, but some are loading walls holding up the home. I give ideas on what you can cut through, like make little windows so you can have that sight through or bring in that natural light. So one room's not that dark. The light's only coming in from the kitchen. You want to go through the dining room all the way through, how you can do that and still keep that loading wall there. I just give them different ideas on it, how it would look if you knock it down and how open the space would feel. That's when we can start playing with the furniture and give them an idea
Wow,
what you want furniture.
talking about clients or thinking of selling, right? Or a realtor who has a house that's been on the market for a long time. How much does interior design affect a home's resale value or the ability to go quick?
We're dealing with that now at my mom's house. We're trying to sell it fast. She redid her kitchen, but the bathrooms aren't up to date, nor the basement is finished, but it's not up to date. And that has had a big effect on the bottom line. A lot of people see those aesthetics. As an interior designer, I give people ideas to fix it up, and they're willing to come down in price. It was 2 weeks before it sold. We updated the lighting, which is easy. You can go to Home Depot and get a reasonable vanity lighting, which is a good update. Your faucets, you can do that pretty fast. If you have a plumber you can work with, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you could do that. And then just your window treatments, if you have blinds and stuff like that, that's a quick way to really update and modernize it. So is that your resale is really going to come down to your kitchens and your baths. A lot of people like to entertain. I always tell people Rome wasn't built in a day. Move in and update, but most people want to move in with it being ready. They don't want to make improvements or put time, money into making changes. But if you can't do that, there are ways to work around it.
Well, Felicia, thank you so much for being on with me today, taking a peek in my office and sharing stories and advice. It does help me. I'm thinking of some ideas for my own house. If someone is interested in giving you a call, do you do a consultation first?
I do a consultation. If they're working with a realtor, I'm offering a free consultation for their clients. And what that will entail is me just walking through the house and giving them about an hour of my time. And if they need further assistance, they'll have my information. The best way to reach me is via email, fbenton@designingyourvision.com. They can also go to my website, designing-your-vision.com. They can reach me, just put their contact information and the type of project they're working on the contact page. I'll get right back to them.
Any last parting words about designing, interior design, or anything like that?
I always tell people design with your heart. As an interior designer, I'm not going to dictate how your space is. Your space is a reflection of you. The more it reflects you, the more it reflects what you need to do, the more you're going to want to be in that space. And a lot of people, they really think about it. The more the space is catering to you, you're not going to want to leave it. You're going to love it. And because you spend so much time at work or working from home, you want the spaces that you live in to be a reflection of you, designed from your heart. If you're having a problem, give me a call.
If you want it done, right, and you want someone to help, I highly recommend calling Felicia, going to her website, sending her an email, get her advice. It is worth it, I promise you. Felicia, thank you for being here and allowing me to ask these questions to help realtors, home buyers, and home sellers with their interior design needs.
Glad I could help.
Thanks.